us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. John F. Kennedy. Welcome to Progressive Voices of Arizona, a place where people can discuss the issues that affect people all over the nation and look for possible solutions to restore society's humanity. Kick off your shoes, grab yourself a snack and something to drink, and listen in with Scott and Kara, your hosts of Progressive Voices of Arizona.
Okay, everyone, welcome to another exciting or interesting or at least some haphazard show of Progressive Voices of Arizona. It's been a long week. It's been a fun week, and it's been an interesting week. For those of you out there listening, if you want to find out who we are and what we do, you can find us on Facebook at ProVoicesAZ. Our website is www.provoicesaz.com, and you can find us on, I think we're on Twitter. We may be on Instagram, and
I think we have a YouTube. I think
we have a
like
YouTube.
Everywhere.
We've got something
Just
somewhere.
Just look for us.
Just look for us. We're not that difficult to find. So, our show tonight is a special show. 2 weeks ago, we had the Phoenix Pride Festival, and we were hoping to do a show. We wanted to actually go out there and do it live broadcast, but we just couldn't make that happen because we couldn't get to there. We had other work-related things pop up.
Work.
Yeah, good old work. But we've been to the past two before this year, and it's really an extraordinary experience. And so we wanted to do an actual episode where we talk specifically about pride and equality and why it's an important part of our culture and why we need to take more time to, make sure that everybody understands why it's important.
Or at least to just accept it at the very least. Just accept the fact that everybody should have equal rights and go on with your fucking life.
I think my phone just made noise.
I think so, too.
So, the first hour of the show, we have with us a couple of special guests. We have Amber and we have AJ. Both of them are activists and members of the LGBT community and friends of the LGBT community. So, let's start with AJ. Kind of tell us about yourself, what you do, why pride and equality is important to you.
So pride and equality is really important because it's kind of my entire existence. I'm a trans masculine individual who identifies as pansexual, so my entire life and being is constantly surrounded by LGBT systems and stuff. So I study sociology and political science at Northern Arizona University, and my main emphasis is in social politics because I want to delve more into why systems of oppression exist and why political atmospheres are the way that they are to LGBT people.
Wow, that's a pretty hefty duty career. Is this something that what you're focusing on is specifically, of course, to help benefit the LGBT community? But I mean, how does this field that you're going into, how does that help?
So it helps because education is very important. So by educating myself, I'm then able to turn around and educate others on oppression dynamics and what it means to be LGBT in today's society, especially with our political environment right now.
Yeah, because our political environment right now kind of blows, to be honest.
It's a mess.
It's a total mess, and that's one of the things, because Kara and I both ran for office, and we've both been endorsed by Equality Arizona, Planned Parenthood, now
NARAL,
NARAL, because we are both the type of people that are of the understanding and the idea that everybody should be treated equally regardless, because when it comes down to it, we're all human. Okay, base exponents, we are all human, and we should all be treated equally regardless of our differences. So, Amber, tell us a little bit about yourself and why it's important to you.
Absolutely, thanks. So I am an ally to the LGBTQ community, really just because it makes sense. Sometimes it's hard for me to come up with why, because I'm like, well, duh, because everybody is equal, and it's not, it's not a matter of, pointing out their differences, or I don't know. It's very important, like AJ said, to educate people. I've seen oppression in action. It's pretty heartbreaking. People are people. Humans are humans. Doesn't matter, race, sexual orientation, gender identity. And I do think it's very important to change what's been ingrained in people. A lot of people don't even know what they're doing or saying might be harmful or, for lack of a better term, ignorant. So I don't know. It's just I don't see any other way to be. So I've kind of, I don't know, it's expanded beyond the LGBTQ community, in my opinion. Like, I feel like everybody should be educated on how they can be better people, really. And it's kind of snowballed. It first started, I guess, when I moved in with my gay uncle and his boyfriend and their 3-legged dog. And we had our fun little happy family, and it was great. And I really saw firsthand how they could be treated really shitty. And it didn't make sense to me. Oppression and homophobia and the assault and abuse that can come with it just does not make sense to me. So, becoming an ally, I feel like there's right ways, wrong ways to do it. We're always learning, and I think it's very important to share with people what I've learned about how to not be a detriment or a nuisance when trying to do good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm still learning and trying to share what I know.
Well, I mean, it's good because I think we all are continually learning. I grew up in the Panhandle of Texas, so you can just think about what it's like in Texas, especially a few 30 years ago when I was in college. To what type of atmosphere people of the LGBT community had then. Now I have a degree in theater, so I was, and I know it's kind of stereotypical of, theater. They have, gay members and this, that, and the other. And that's the funny thing is that I grew up in such a Bible Belt mentality area, yet I was not really biased or holding any kind of animosity towards people that were not straight. One of my best roommates in college was gay, and I didn't know that for a long time. And when he finally told me, it was like, oh, okay, well, let's go have pizza, and it was no big deal. And I think that educating people and getting people past the normal, what's the word for it? I can't remember. I had the word, and it went right out the door. Indoctrination. There you go. The indoctrination that we've had over the past, 200 years by the religious community about, the LGBT community has hurt not just the LGBT community, but just people in general for being unable to get past the idea of it's not my business if a person is gay. It's not my business if a woman is a lesbian. It's theirs. And I can accept them regardless of that. And I think we're kind of moving in that direction slowly, really, really slowly. And hopefully, eventually, we'll get to the point, hopefully in my lifetime, where it's not an issue anymore, where everybody can be equal regardless of the labels that we tend to put on each other, during this time. If we can get past the zombie apocalypse of, like, Michelle Bachmann and Pat Robertson and those people that are so afraid of actually being acceptant to the idea that people are different. Now, did both of you guys go to the Pride Festival? You were both there this weekend. This was 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks.
April 1st and 2nd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yep.
Now, I mean, when we went there, it was just an amazing thing. There was just so many people that were there. They were comfortable. They were happy. I mean, did it have a lot of good things going on? I mean, how would you describe to people to try to get them to participate in the Pride Festival next year? What kind of things would you tell them? Let's start with Amber this time, so we're not talking over each other.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be quick. I mean, there's always such a feeling of good. Every time I go to the Pride Festival, I know that it's a judgment-free zone. Everybody wears what they want. You know, everybody is free. They're there to be who they are. And it's like once you're in those gates, it's a family. And I like it. There's no judgment. You don't poke fun at what people wear. There's not the usual bullshit judgment societal things like people's weight and all the other garbage that's in normal society and in mainstream media. I feel like it's gone. And even the protesters outside, I mean, they fall on deaf ears. Nobody, in my opinion, and maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, but I just don't think that any of that oppression and hatred and judgment, it seems like it doesn't make it in the gates. And of course, you know, there's lots of booze and there's beautiful half-naked women and gorgeous half-naked men of you know, every type, and there's delicious food, and I don't know, it's such a wonderful place to be, I think.
I can agree with all that, having been there, because it was, I mean, we went in there, and of course, you know, the first time we went, we were going in there because we were trying to, you know, be political and crap. But realistically, the feeling of enjoyment from everybody, because you didn't see the people looking down at one another and the people judging people with their comments or their looks or their, you know, that kind of thing that you would normally see if you did the same thing at the mall. They didn't need to be the event did not need to be controlled, because inside the fences everybody was there for the same reason, and that was a beautiful thing. And we actually we took the light rail in, because it's a really hell of a drive from Apache Junction to downtown Phoenix, because we do that every day. But we took the light rail in, and I remember on the way home, there was a lesbian couple on the train with us. And they were just, the entire trip basically, just kind of hugging. One was kind of leaning into the other. They were holding each other. And it was just, you know, there was nothing wrong with that. It was beautiful. And I think that if people got past the indoctrination that we have all kind of been subjected to over the years, they would actually see that as a beautiful moment in time that could inspire more beautiful moments in time. And I think one day we may be able to actually get past this crap and actually see that. So, AJ, what did you really like about the Pride? I mean, how did you feel being there?
I mean, I've got some likes and some dislikes. If you don't mind, could I address some of those dislikes as well?
Oh, sure. Go right ahead. We are open mic. You talk about what you want to.
There were two different protests happening at this year's Pride Parade. Really conservative religious protests that happened. That was annoying. We just deal with them. But there was actually a inter-community protest this year at the Pride Festival that isn't really being talked about as much as it should have. So Pride started out as a protest in 1969, and it is now become a tradition for cities around the world to have Pride parades, which is great because now people can come and be in the open and not be judged. However, one thing that I did notice at Pride, and that a lot of other people have noticed at Pride, is that it's gone very corporate over. And an activist group called Trans Queer Pueblo stopped the Pride Parade this year because they felt that their voices were not being heard. So it's great for us, and especially myself as a person, to be able to say that, yeah, my voice is being heard, and Pride is a great place for me. But we need to acknowledge that it might not be the greatest place for everyone else, especially those in our community who are undocumented or those people who are being oppressed by the